Life, as we know it, is built on patterns. What we repeatedly do, day in and day out, becomes the framework of who we are and the results we create. And I'm telling you, I've learned over the years, we don't become successful or fulfilled by accident. It's deliberate. It's intentional. It's designed. Now, some people drift through their days, hoping for the best, but doing little to steer the ship. Others understand that life rewards those who show up with purpose, who practice daily disciplines that build character, sharpen focus, and lead to extraordinary results. The question is, which path will you choose? You see, life is always in motion, and the choices you make today set the tone for tomorrow. Success, my friend, is the natural consequence of consistently applying the right habits over time. It's not one big event. It's the cumulative effect of small, intentional actions performed every single day. What's remarkable is that the greatest opportunities for growth aren't locked behind gates or reserved for the privileged. They're available to anyone willing to put in the work. But here's the secret. It's not just about working harder. It's about working smarter. Choosing the right rituals to focus your energy, fuel your passion, and strengthen your resolve. When we talk about transformation, we're not just talking about changing what you do. We're talking about changing who you are at your core. Transformation begins with a decision, a commitment to leave behind the ordinary and pursue something extraordinary. And it's those seemingly small daily choices that make all the difference. Now, here's the truth. Rituals are powerful because they anchor us. They keep us steady when life feels chaotic. They help us stay aligned with our values, our goals, and our vision. They remind us of who we want to become and what we're capable of achieving. It's about more than just routine. It's about creating meaningful, intentional habits that serve as the foundation for a life well lived. So as we begin, I want you to ask yourself, what does your day look like now? Are your current habits leading you closer to the life you desire, or are they holding you back? Are you living deliberately, or are you simply reacting to the demands of the day? These are questions worth reflecting on because they'll help you understand where to focus your efforts. Transformation is possible for anyone, but it requires effort, intention, and a willingness to embrace change. This is where the real work begins, not tomorrow, not next week, but today. Right here, right now. Let's talk about how you can take charge of your life by embracing a series of daily rituals that have the power to shape your destiny. The first ritual is centered around intentional reflection. Before the day gets away from you, take a few moments to pause and think. Reflection is one of the most powerful tools we have, yet so few of us truly use it. It's not just about looking back at where you've been. It's about gaining clarity on where you're going and why it matters. Imagine starting each day with a clear purpose. Not just a to-do list, but a deeper understanding of what you're working toward. That's the power of reflection. It allows you to step out of the noise, out of the constant distractions, and focus on what truly matters. Most people wake up and dive straight into the day without ever pausing to ask themselves what their intention is today or what's important right now. Here's the beauty of reflection. It doesn't take long, but it sets the tone for everything that follows. It's about asking yourself a few key questions. What do you want to accomplish today? How can you make progress toward your larger goals? And what can you do better today than you did yesterday? These are not just questions to fill the air. They're questions that shape your actions, your mindset, and ultimately, your results. But it's not just about the practical side of things. Reflection also helps you reconnect with your values. In a world that constantly pulls us in 100 different directions, it's easy to lose sight of what's most important. Reflection brings you back to center. It reminds you of the kind of person you want to be, the kind of life you want to live. And I'm telling you, this habit of reflection isn't something reserved for philosophers or academics. It's for anyone who wants to live intentionally. One of my favorite stories is about a man who every evening would sit quietly with a notebook and write down the lessons he learned that day. It wasn't a long process, just a few minutes of thoughtful reflection. But over time, he built a treasure trove of insights that guided him through challenges, shaped his decisions, and inspired those around him. Now here's the practical part. Make reflection a daily ritual. Find a time that works for you. Grab a journal or even just a piece of paper and write down your thoughts. Don't worry about making it perfect. This isn't about writing a masterpiece. It's about creating a space for clarity and growth. Ask yourself, what did I learn today? What went well? What didn't go so well? What can I do differently tomorrow? These simple questions can spark profound insights. They can help you see patterns in your behavior, identify areas for improvement, and celebrate your progress. And here's the thing, progress fuels motivation. When you see how far you've come, you're inspired to keep going. Reflection also gives you perspective. Sometimes, when we're in the middle of a tough season, it feels like we're not moving forward. But when you look back and see the small wins, the lessons learned, and the growth that's happening, it reminds you that progress is often invisible in the moment, but undeniable over time. And we can't forget the emotional side of reflection. It's a time to release frustration, process your experiences, and reset your mindset. Too many people carry the weight of the day into tomorrow, never taking the time to unpack it. Reflection allows you to leave behind what no longer serves you and carry forward what does. One of the best things you can do is reflect on your wins, big or small. Celebrate those moments. Recognize your effort. It's not about bragging. It's about acknowledging the progress you're making and reinforcing the belief that you can achieve even more. The key to this ritual is consistency. A single moment of reflection can be insightful, but it's the accumulation of those moments that leads to transformation. It's like planting seeds. One day you'll look back and realize the garden you've cultivated, one full of wisdom, clarity, and purpose. Reflection is not just a ritual, it's a gift you give yourself. It's a chance to slow down, reconnect, and recalibrate. It's the foundation for growth and a powerful tool for navigating life with intention. When you begin each day or end each day with reflection, you're not just going through the motions. You're building a life that aligns with your deepest values and aspirations. Next, the second ritual is about setting clear priorities. If reflection helps you see where you are and where you want to go, setting priorities is about mapping the path to get there. It's deciding with intention what truly deserves your time and energy. Time is the great equalizer. Whether you're the CEO of a billion-dollar company or someone just starting out, we all get the same 24 hours each day. The difference lies in how we use them. And I'm telling you, the people who achieve the most in life aren't necessarily the busiest. They're the ones who focus on what matters most. Most people fall into the trap of being busy instead of productive. They fill their days with tasks, but when they look back, they realize they didn't move the needle on what truly matters. The key to escaping this trap is learning how to separate the urgent from the important. You see, urgency screams for your attention. It's the email, the phone call, the thing that feels like it must be done now. Importance, on the other hand, whispers. It's the long-term vision, the foundational work, the goals that will make a lasting difference. Every morning, or the night before if you prefer, Take a few moments to write down your top priorities for the day. I'm not talking about a long laundry list of things to do. No, this is about focus. Identify the 1, 2, or maybe 3 tasks that, if completed, would make the biggest impact. These are your non-negotiables. I once heard a story about a man who kept a small index card in his pocket every day. On that card, he wrote the 3 most important things he needed to accomplish. Not 10, not 20, just 3. He carried that card with him everywhere, and whenever he felt pulled in 100 directions, he would look at it and remind himself of his focus. At the end of the day, he either completed those 3 things or knew he had given his best effort toward them. That simple practice transformed his productivity and his peace of mind. Here's the truth. Not everything deserves your attention. It's okay to say no. In fact, learning to say no is one of the most powerful skills you can develop. Every time you say yes to something, you're saying no to something else. So, make sure you're saying yes to the things that align with your goals and values. When you set clear priorities, you give yourself a sense of direction. You're not just reacting to what comes your way. You're proactively creating your path. And I'm telling you, there's a profound sense of freedom in that. Instead of feeling overwhelmed by a never-ending list of tasks, you focus on what truly matters, and you let the rest go. Another key to this ritual is understanding that priorities aren't just about work. They're about life. What about your relationships? Your health? Your personal growth? Sometimes the most important thing you can do in a day isn't tied to your career or your to-do list. Priorities give you clarity, but they also give you confidence. When you know you're working on the right things, you feel more in control. You're not spinning your wheels or chasing every shiny object. You're moving forward with purpose. But here's the secret. Setting priorities is only half the battle. The real magic happens when you protect them. That means guarding your time fiercely. Don't let distractions or other people's agendas derail you. Close the door and focus. You'll be amazed at how much you can accomplish when you work with intention. And remember, priorities can shift. Life happens. Emergencies arise. But when you've built the habit of setting clear priorities, even when the unexpected comes your way, you'll know how to recalibrate and stay on track. You won't be thrown off course because you've trained yourself to focus on what's most important. This ritual is about more than productivity. It's about living a life that aligns with your values and vision. When you consistently prioritize the things that matter most, you create momentum. You build trust in yourself. And over time, those small daily wins compound into extraordinary results. Setting priorities isn't complicated, but it requires discipline. It's easy to get swept up in the busyness of life, but the people who make the greatest impact are the ones who consistently focus on what truly matters. Be one of those people. Start each day by deciding what's most important, and then commit to making it happen. Next, the third ritual is the practice of visualization. This is not daydreaming or wishful thinking. It's the deliberate act of seeing your goals, your dreams, and your ideal future in your mind before they become a reality. Visualization is one of the most powerful tools for personal transformation because it aligns your thoughts, emotions, and actions with what you want to achieve. Think about this. Every great achievement began in someone's mind. Whether it was building a business, writing a book, or overcoming a personal challenge, it started with a vision. And the clearer that vision, the more power it had to inspire action and perseverance. The question is, how clear is your vision? Can you see it in vivid detail, or is it just a vague idea in the back of your mind? Take a moment each day and visualize your goals. Close your eyes and see yourself living the life you desire. Picture it as if it's already happening. What does it look like? What does it feel like? What kind of person are you in this vision? Engage all your senses to make it as real as possible. One of the most inspiring stories I've heard about visualization is from athletes. Many of the world's top performers, from Olympic champions to professional players, use this technique. They see themselves crossing the finish line, making the perfect shot, or executing their craft flawlessly. And when the moment comes to perform, their minds and bodies know exactly what to do because they've already rehearsed it mentally. But visualization isn't just for athletes. It works for anyone who wants to achieve a goal or overcome a challenge. Let's say you're preparing for an important presentation at work. Before you step into that room, spend time visualizing yourself, delivering it with confidence. See the audience engaged, hear the applause, and feel the sense of accomplishment. This practice not only prepares your mind, but also reduces anxiety and builds confidence. Visualization works because your mind can't always tell the difference between what's real and what's vividly imagined. When you visualize, you're creating mental pathways that prepare you for success. It's like a rehearsal for the real thing. And the more you practice, the stronger those pathways become. But here's an important point. Visualization is not a substitute for action. It's a tool to enhance your focus, motivation, and clarity. But you still have to put in the work. Think of it as the spark that ignites the flame. The real transformation happens when you pair a clear vision with consistent effort. Now, you might be thinking how you can start. It's simple. Begin with a specific goal or aspiration. Maybe it's something big, like building a thriving business, or something smaller, like improving a personal skill. Whatever it is, get clear on what success looks like to you. Write it down if you need to. Then close your eyes and imagine it in detail. The key is to involve your emotions. Don't just see the goal, feel it. How would it feel to accomplish it? Joy? Pride? Gratitude? When you connect with those emotions, you create a powerful internal motivation to make it happen. It's like creating a magnet that draws you closer to your goal. Another way to enhance your visualization practice is to create a vision board. This doesn't have to be fancy, just a collection of images, words, and symbols that represent your goals and dreams. Place it somewhere you'll see it often, and let it serve as a daily reminder of what you're working toward. Each time you look at it, spend a moment visualizing your success. Consistency is key. Visualization isn't a one-time exercise, it's a daily practice. And the more you do it, and the stronger your belief becomes. You start to see opportunities you might have missed, take actions you might have avoided, and build the momentum you need to achieve your goals. I'll share one more insight. Visualization isn't just about the destination. It's also about the journey. Picture yourself taking the steps necessary to reach your goal. See yourself showing up, doing the work, and overcoming challenges. This not only prepares you mentally, but also reinforces your commitment to the process. When you make visualization a daily ritual, you're not just dreaming, you're creating. You're training your mind to focus on what's possible instead of what's in the way. And over time, as your vision becomes clearer and your actions align with it, you'll start to see those dreams come to life. Next, the fourth ritual is the practice of affirmations. Affirmations are not just words, they're declarations of who you are and who you're becoming. They're a way to program your mind, focus your energy, and align your actions with your highest aspirations. Think of affirmations as seeds you plant in the fertile soil of your mind. When nurtured daily, they grow into beliefs that shape your reality. Here's what I've learned. Your mind is constantly being influenced. Every conversation, every thought you entertain has the power to build you up or tear you down. And if you're not careful, you can fall into the habit of letting negative, limiting beliefs dominate your thinking. That's where affirmations come in. They're a tool to take control of your inner dialogue and replace doubt with confidence, fear with courage, and uncertainty with clarity. Now let's get practical. What exactly is an affirmation? It's a positive, present tense statement about what you want to embody or achieve. It could be as simple as telling yourself that you're confident and capable, or as specific as telling yourself that you're building a successful business that serves others and brings you joy. The key is to frame it as if it's already true, even if you're still in the process of becoming. Why does this work? Because your mind listens to what you tell it. If you constantly feed it thoughts of inadequacy or failure, it will find ways to confirm those beliefs. But if you feed it affirmations of strength, growth, and possibility, it will work just as hard to bring those beliefs to life. It's not magic. It's psychology. What you focus on expands. One of the most inspiring examples of affirmations comes from Muhammad Ali. He didn't wait for the world to call him the greatest. He declared it himself long before he became a champion. And that belief fueled his training, his discipline, and his resilience. He spoke it into existence, not just with his words, but with his actions. Affirmations can be used in any area of your life. If you want to grow in your career, create affirmations about your skills, your leadership, and your ability to succeed. If you're working on relationships, affirm your capacity to love, communicate, and connect. If you're facing a challenge, affirm your strength, your resourcefulness, and your ability to overcome. The beauty of affirmations is that they're completely customizable. They can be short and simple or longer and more detailed. The important thing is that they resonate with you. They should feel inspiring and empowering, not forced or hollow. And don't worry if they feel a little uncomfortable at first. That's just your old beliefs being challenged. Stick with it, and you'll start to feel a shift. Here's a powerful way to integrate affirmations into your daily life. Write them down. There's something about putting pen to paper that makes them feel more real. Take a few moments each morning to write out your affirmations and say them out loud with conviction. Speak them as if you truly believe them, even if you're still building that belief. Over time, repetition will turn those words into a deep-seated truth. Tie your affirmations to specific moments in your day. The more consistent you are, the more powerful they become. It's like exercising a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. One thing to keep in mind is that affirmations are not just about declaring success. They're also about embracing the journey. These statements remind you that progress is a process and that every step, no matter how small, is moving you closer to your goals. Here's the real magic of affirmations. They change how you see yourself. And when you change how you see yourself, you change how you show up in the world. You start to make choices that align with your new identity. You take bolder actions, pursue bigger dreams, and respond to setbacks with greater resilience. Affirmations help you step into the best version of yourself, not someday, but right now. Remember, the words you speak to yourself matter. They shape your thoughts, your emotions, and your actions. So choose words that empower you, words that reflect your highest potential. Make affirmations a daily ritual and let them guide you toward the life you're capable of creating. Next, the fifth ritual is the act of intentional learning. Growth doesn't happen by accident. It happens by design. And one of the most powerful ways to ensure continual growth is to make learning a daily habit. The truth is, the world is constantly changing. And the moment you stop learning, you stop growing. But when you commit to learning every day, you stay sharp, adaptable, and ready for whatever comes your way. Now, intentional learning is not the same as passive consumption. Most people consume information every day, but they're not actively engaging with it. Intentional learning, on the other hand, is deliberate. It's about choosing what to learn, how to learn it, and why it matters. Here's something I've observed. Successful people never stop being students. They read books, listen to lectures, and seek out mentors. They understand that the more they learn, the more they can achieve. And it's not just about gaining knowledge, it's about applying that knowledge in ways that create real change. So how do you make learning a daily ritual? Start by deciding what you want to learn. Whatever it is, be specific. Vague intentions lead to vague results. Once you've identified your focus, dedicate time to it every day. It doesn't have to be hours. Just 15 to 30 minutes can make a difference. The key is consistency. One of the best ways to learn is through books. Books are like portable mentors, filled with the wisdom and experiences of people who've walked the path before you. Imagine being able to spend an hour with some of the greatest minds in history just by opening their books. That's the power of reading. But learning isn't limited to books. You can learn through conversations with people who challenge your thinking. You can learn by observing others, watching how they handle situations, solve problems, or create opportunities. And you can learn through your own experiences by reflecting on what worked, what didn't, and what you can do differently next time. Here's the key to intentional learning. Take notes. Don't just let the information pass through your mind. Capture it. Write down the insights that resonate with you, the ideas you want to explore further, and the actions you plan to take. A notebook can become one of your greatest tools for growth, a place to collect and organize the knowledge that shapes your journey. Now, here's an important principle. Learning is most powerful when it's applied. Knowledge without action is like having a map but never taking the journey. So as you learn, ask yourself how you can use this. And whatever it is, put it into practice. One of my favorite lessons about learning comes from the idea of compounding. Just like money grows through compound interest, your knowledge grows through compound learning. Each day builds on the one before, and over time, those small efforts create exponential growth. That's why it's so important to make learning a daily ritual. It's not about cramming in information, but about steady, consistent progress. And don't limit yourself to just one area of learning. Broaden your horizons. Learn about things that interest you, even if they're outside your field. Sometimes the greatest breakthroughs come from connecting ideas across disciplines. Here's the beauty of intentional learning. It keeps you curious. It keeps you engaged with life. It reminds you that there's always more to discover, more to achieve, and more to become. And that curiosity, that hunger for growth, is what separates the extraordinary from the ordinary. So ask yourself what you can learn today. Commit to finding an answer every single day. Because when you make learning a habit, you're not just adding knowledge, you're expanding your potential. You're equipping yourself to handle challenges, seize opportunities, and create a life that reflects your highest aspirations. Intentional learning isn't just a ritual, it's a mindset. It's a way of approaching life with an open mind and a desire to grow. When you embrace this ritual, you become a perpetual student of life, always growing, always improving, and always moving closer to your full potential. Next, the sixth ritual is practicing gratitude. Gratitude is a powerful force, one that can transform the way you see the world and the way the world responds to you. It's not just about saying thank you. It's about cultivating a mindset of appreciation that shifts your focus from what's lacking to what's abundant. You see, in life, we tend to notice what's wrong more than what's right. It's human nature. Challenges demand our attention, and we often overlook the blessings that are right in front of us. But when you make gratitude a daily ritual, you retrain your mind to focus on the positive, to see opportunities instead of obstacles, and to recognize the progress you're making, even when the journey feels difficult. Here's the beauty of being grateful. It doesn't require you to change your circumstances. It requires you to change your perspective. No matter where you are in life, there's always something to be grateful for. Being grateful reminds you that even in the midst of challenges, there's still good to be found. One of the most powerful ways to practice gratitude is by keeping a gratitude journal. Every day, take a few moments to write down 3 things you're grateful for. They don't have to be big or profound. Sometimes, it's the small things that matter most. A kind word from a friend, a beautiful sunset, or a moment of laughter can all be sources of gratitude. The act of writing them down solidifies them in your mind and helps you start or end your day with a sense of appreciation. Being grateful also strengthens your relationships. When you express appreciation for the people in your life, you deepen your connection with them. It's as simple as saying that you're grateful for someone or thanking them for what they've done. These small gestures create a ripple effect of positivity, not only improving your relationships, but also enriching your own sense of fulfillment. Now, here's an important point. Being grateful isn't about ignoring the difficulties of life. It's not about pretending everything is perfect. It's about acknowledging the challenges while choosing to focus on the good. One of the most inspiring examples of gratitude I've ever heard came from a man who had faced tremendous hardship. Despite losing his business and enduring personal challenges, he made it a daily practice to list things he was grateful for. He found gratitude in the support of his family, the opportunity to rebuild, and even in the challenges themselves, which taught him resilience and creativity. Over time, his gratitude mindset not only helped him overcome his struggles, but also led him to greater success than he'd ever imagined. Being grateful also has a profound impact on your emotional and mental well-being. It's hard to feel anxious or stressed when you're focused on what you're thankful for. Being grateful brings a sense of peace, grounding you in the present moment and reminding you of the abundance that already exists in your life. It shifts your energy and helps you approach the day with a more positive and optimistic outlook. Another way to practice gratitude is to make it part of your interactions with others. Take a moment to thank the people who impact your life. Gratitude is contagious. When you express it, you inspire others to do the same, creating a ripple effect that spreads positivity far beyond yourself. The key to this ritual is consistency. Being grateful isn't just something you practice on the good days. It's something you cultivate every day. Even on the tough days, find something to appreciate. It might be harder to see, but it's there. And the more you look for it, the easier it becomes to find. Over time, being grateful changes how you see the world. You start to notice the beauty in the ordinary, the lessons in the challenges, and the blessings in the everyday. It's not that life becomes easier, it's that your perspective becomes stronger. Being grateful doesn't eliminate problems, but it gives you the resilience and clarity to face them with courage and hope. When you make gratitude a daily ritual, you create a foundation of positivity that supports everything else you do. It strengthens your mindset, enhances your relationships, and reminds you of the abundance already present in your life. Gratitude isn't just a practice, it's a way of living, and it has the power to transform your life from the inside out. Next, the seventh ritual is the art of intentional connection. Life is not meant to be lived in isolation. The relationships we cultivate, the conversations we engage in, and the people we surround ourselves with have a profound impact on our growth, happiness, and success. Connection is not just a nicety, it's a necessity. In our busy lives, it's easy to get so caught up in tasks and goals that we neglect the people around us. But when you make connection a daily ritual, you're not just building relationships, you're building a life filled with meaning and fulfillment. The truth is, no matter how ambitious or independent you are, your success and joy are deeply tied to the quality of your connections. Intentional connection starts with presence. When you're with someone, give them your full attention. In a world filled with distractions, being fully present is one of the greatest gifts you can give. It shows respect, deepens understanding, and fosters trust. Think about it. When was the last time someone really listened to you? When was the last time you truly listened to someone else? Here's a simple practice. Every day, reach out to at least one person with the intention of connecting. The purpose isn't just to check in, it's to deepen the relationship. Ask questions, show interest, and express appreciation. Make the interaction about them, not just about you. One of the most powerful ways to strengthen connections is through gratitude and acknowledgement. Take the time to let people know what they mean to you and how they've impacted your life. It doesn't have to be elaborate. A heartfelt thank you or a kind note can go a long way. When you make it a habit to acknowledge others, you not only uplift them, but also strengthen the bond between you. Another important aspect of intentional connection is seeking out people who inspire and challenge you. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. If you want to grow, surround yourself with people who encourage growth. Find people who share your values and push you to be your best. These are the connections that will elevate your life. At the same time, be mindful of the energy you bring into your relationships. Connection isn't just about what you receive, it's also about what you give. Are you supportive, encouraging, and uplifting? Or are you distracted, critical, or indifferent? The energy you bring to your interactions has a ripple effect. When you show up with positivity and intention, you create a space where others feel valued and inspired. Connection isn't always about big gestures. Sometimes it's the small, consistent acts of kindness that mean the most. A smile, a word of encouragement, or a moment of genuine interest can brighten someone's day and leave a lasting impression. These little moments add up, building trust and warmth over time. And you can't forget the importance of connection with yourself. Before you can truly connect with others, you need to nurture your relationship with yourself. Take time each day to check in with your thoughts and emotions. Are you aligned with your values? Are you showing up as the person you want to be? When you're grounded in who you are, you bring authenticity and strength to your relationships. Intentional connection also means creating boundaries. Not every relationship is meant to last, and not every interaction deserves your energy. Be discerning about the connections you nurture. Focus on those that are mutually supportive, aligned with your values, and contribute to your growth. Let go of relationships that drain you or hold you back, and make room for those that uplift and inspire. A successful entrepreneur once shared that her greatest achievements weren't just the result of hard work and strategy. They were the result of relationships. Her mentors taught her invaluable lessons. Her peers supported her through challenges, and her family reminded her of her purpose. She said that every success she's had has someone else's fingerprints on it. That's the power of intentional connection. When you make connection a daily ritual, you enrich your life in countless ways. You create a network of support, collaboration, and inspiration. You deepen your understanding of others and yourself. And you cultivate a sense of belonging and community that fuels your personal and professional growth. Connection is the thread that weaves through every aspect of life. It's not something to take for granted. It's something to prioritize and nurture. When you practice intentional connection, you're not just building relationships. You're building a life that's rich with meaning, love, and possibility. Next, the eighth ritual is the practice of giving. Giving isn't just about money or material resources. It's about sharing your time, your talents, your kindness, and your energy. It's about contributing to something greater than yourself and recognizing that true fulfillment comes from what you give, not just what you gain. You see, life operates on a principle of reciprocity. When you give, you create a ripple effect that touches lives in ways you may never fully see. And the irony is, the more you give, the more you receive, not necessarily in material terms, but in joy, connection, and a deep sense of purpose. Giving is not just an act. It's a mindset, a way of living. The most powerful form of giving is often the simplest. It could be a smile to a stranger, a word of encouragement to someone struggling, or a few minutes of your time to help a friend or colleague. These small acts of kindness might seem insignificant, but to the person on the receiving end, they can mean the world. Never underestimate the impact of a simple gesture. One of the greatest lessons I ever learned about giving came from a mentor who once told me, "Give out of your abundance and you'll create more abundance." At first, I didn't fully understand it. But over time, I saw the truth in those words. When you give freely, without expecting anything in return, you're not just helping others. You're opening yourself to the flow of generosity and possibility. It's as if the universe rewards those who operate with an open hand and an open heart. Now, giving doesn't have to be grand or dramatic. In fact, some of the most meaningful contributions come from sharing what you already have. Do you have knowledge or experience that could benefit someone else? Share it. Do you have time to volunteer or mentor someone who's just starting out? Offer it. Do you have a kind word or a listening ear to give to someone who needs it? Give it freely. These small acts create ripples that can transform lives, yours included. Another important aspect of giving is practicing generosity toward the people closest to you. Sometimes we focus so much on external contributions that we forget to give to those who matter most. Take the time to express appreciation for your family, support your friends, and contribute to the well-being of your community. These are the relationships that shape your life, and your generosity strengthens them. Giving also means sharing your talents and gifts with the world. Each of us has something unique to offer, a skill, a perspective, a creative idea. When you use your talents to serve others, you're not just making a difference, you're fulfilling your potential. And here's the magic. The more you share your gifts, the more they grow. It's like a flame that spreads without ever dimming its own light. There's a story about a man who, despite modest means, made it a daily ritual to give something to someone else. Sometimes it was a small donation, sometimes a kind word, sometimes a helping hand. Over the years, his giving created a network of goodwill and opportunities that he never expected. People were drawn to him not because of what he had, but because of who he was, a giver. His life was rich, not in material wealth, but in relationships, joy, and a deep sense of purpose. Giving also teaches you gratitude. When you give, you're reminded of the abundance in your own life. You see the blessings you have, even in difficult times. And in sharing those blessings, you create a sense of connection and community that transcends individual gain. It's a powerful reminder that we're all in this together, and that each of us has the power to make a difference. And it's all about the mindset. True giving comes from a place of abundance, not scarcity. It's not about giving because you have to. It's about giving because you want to. It's about recognizing that what you give comes back to you in ways you can't always predict. It's about trusting that there's always enough to go around when you live with an open heart. One of the most rewarding practices you can adopt is to look for opportunities to give every day. It doesn't have to be big. Sometimes the smallest gestures have the greatest impact. And the more you practice giving, the more natural it becomes. It's no longer just something you do. It's who you are. When you make giving a daily ritual, you align yourself with one of life's greatest truths. The more you give, the more you grow. You grow in gratitude, in connection, in purpose, and in joy. Giving isn't just a way to help others, it's a way to become the best version of yourself. And in doing so, you inspire others to do the same. Now remember, transformation doesn't happen overnight, and it doesn't happen by accident. It's the result of consistent, intentional action, day after day, moment after moment. These 8 rituals are not just tasks to check off a list. They're practices that, when embraced, will shape the person you become and the life you create. Think about it. Each ritual we've discussed is a building block. Reflection gives you clarity about where you are and where you're going. Prioritization ensures that your energy is spent on what truly matters. Visualization brings your dreams into focus, while affirmations program your mind for success. Intentional learning equips you with the tools for growth, and gratitude shifts your perspective to abundance. Connection enriches your relationships and your sense of community, and giving allows you to make a meaningful impact in the world. But here's the most important part. None of this works unless you do. These rituals are simple, but they require commitment. They're small practices, but they create profound results over time. It's easy to dismiss them as too basic or too obvious. But the truth is, it's often the simple things, done consistently, that lead to the greatest transformations. As you begin to integrate these rituals into your daily life, be patient with yourself. Change takes time. There will be days when it feels effortless and days when it feels like a struggle. That's okay. What matters is that you keep going. Each day is an opportunity to start fresh, to show up with intention, and to move a little closer to the life you envision. Remember, the goal isn't perfection, it's progress. Success is not about never faltering. It's about getting back up and continuing the journey. With each small step, you're laying the foundation for something extraordinary. You're not just changing your habits, you're transforming your identity, becoming the kind of person who consistently shows up, grows, and contributes. I want to leave you with this. The rituals you choose today will define the results you achieve tomorrow. They'll shape your mindset, your relationships, and your impact on the world. So, choose wisely. Commit to these practices with intention and heart, and watch as they open doors you never thought possible. Life is always in motion. The question is, are you steering the ship, or are you drifting with the tide? These 8 rituals are your compass, your anchor, and your engine. Use them to navigate your days with purpose, to stay grounded in your values, and to propel yourself toward your dreams. As you go forward, keep this truth close. Transformation is not just about doing more, it's about becoming more. It's about aligning your actions with your vision, your habits with your values, and your life with your highest potential. That's the power of these rituals. They're not just practices, they're pathways to a life of intention, growth, and fulfillment.